Rory McIlroy's controversial absence, PGA Tour playoff concerns. When Rory McIlroy decided to skip the first playoff event, it sent shockwaves through the PGA Tour community, leaving many questioning the integrity of the playoff system. But here's where it gets controversial. One prominent tour veteran is voicing his concerns loudly and clearly. Peter Malnati, a player director on the PGA Tour Policy Board, expressed his deep unease over the reigning Masters champion's decision to sit out the St. Jude Championship, the first leg of the three-tournament FedEx Cup playoffs. Very concerned, Malnati told Golfweek, highlighting the potential implications of such a move. Currently, there are no penalties in place for players like McIlroy, who holds a strong second place in the FedEx Cup standings with 3,444 points. He trails only Scottie Scheffler, who has 4,806 points thanks to his two major wins this year, but is comfortably ahead of Sepp Straka in third with 2,595 points. The playoff format is straightforward. The top 50 finishers at the St. Jude Championship in Memphis advance to the BMW Championship, and the top 30 from there move on to the Tour Championship. This year, the Tour Championship will start all 30 participants at even par, which means McIlroy could still have a fair shot at the title, even if he skips the BMW Championship as well. And this is the part most people miss. Despite his decision to skip, McIlroy has already secured a significant financial reward, earning $10 million in bonus money for his regular season performance. In contrast, the winners of the St. Jude and BMW tournaments each receive $3.6 million, while the Tour Championship winner takes home another $10 million. The question on everyone's mind is whether the PGA Tour will implement changes to discourage such behavior in the future. Malnati hinted that discussions are underway, stating, "I think there is stuff in the works, and I'll leave it at that." However, Webb Simpson, another member of the policy board, is more skeptical. "I think it's too hard of a thing to make guys have to play. We're still a sport where you can play when you want to play," Simpson told Golfweek. Last year, McIlroy finished second to last in the St. Jude Championship, a performance that barely budged his playoff standing. "I mean, I finished basically dead last there this year and only moved down one spot in the playoff standings," he explained to the Telegraph in November, indicating his likelihood of skipping the event this year. So, what do you think? Should the PGA Tour enforce stricter rules to ensure top players participate in all playoff events? Or should they respect the players' autonomy to choose their own schedules? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Rory McIlroy skips FedEx St. Jude Championship 2025. PGA Tour playoffs begin without world number 2. It's surprising and definitely a talking point. Rory McIlroy, one of the biggest names in golf and currently ranked world number 2, will not be competing at the upcoming FedEx St. Jude Championship, which marks the start of the PGA Tour's FedEx Cup playoffs next week. This news caught many off guard, especially since the tournament is a crucial step towards the season's grand finale. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite being so highly ranked, McIlroy has chosen to skip this prominent event. The FedEx St. Jude Championship's field is set based on the top 70 plays in the FedEx Cup standings after this week's Wyndham Championship. Because McIlroy will not participate, the tournament in Memphis, Tennessee will feature only 69 players. It's important to note that McIlroy actually finished near the bottom last year at this very event, second to last, to be exact, and he has never claimed a victory there. In fact, he made his feelings clear last November when he told the Telegraph, "I mean, I finished basically dead last there this year and only moved down one spot in the playoff standings." This statement sheds light on his strategic decision to skip the tournament this year. You might be wondering why a top-tier player would skip a playoff event. The answer lies in McIlroy's current standing and the playoff format. He is ranked second in FedEx Cup points, just behind world number 1 Scottie Scheffler, so he doesn't actually need to compete at the St. Jude Championship to secure a spot in the next round, the BMW Championship. Only the top 50 players advance there, and with his points cushion, McIlroy is comfortably positioned. Following that, the playoffs conclude with the Tour Championship, limited to the top 30 players in the FedEx Cup rankings. It's also worth noting that McIlroy's competitive schedule has been relatively light lately. His last tournament was the Open Championship 2 weeks ago, where he tied for 7th place. Could this be a sign that he's pacing himself carefully, or maybe focusing on quality over quantity? Or is this a subtle protest against the structure of the PGA Tour's schedule? Some fans and analysts might debate whether top players skipping key events undermines the excitement and competitiveness of the playoffs. What do you think? Should elite golfers like McIlroy feel pressured to play every playoff event? Or is it smarter to pick and choose based on their form and strategy? And does skipping a major playoff event diminish the tournament's prestige or the playoff series as a whole? Share your thoughts below. Are you team play every tournament or team play smart and selective? Why Rory McIlroy skipping FedEx St. Jude Championship could boost his FedEx Cup glory. In the world of professional golf, decisions about when to play and when to rest can make or break a season. This year, Rory McIlroy's choice to skip the FedEx St. Jude Championship is sparking conversations about the art of strategic planning in sports. Could sitting out actually be the secret ingredient for McIlroy's quest to win the FedEx Cup for a record 4th time? Former major champion Rich Beem seems to think so, offering a compelling case for why this bold move might just work in McIlroy's favor. As of now, McIlroy stands alone as the only eligible player who has elected not to compete at TPC Southwind in Memphis this week, a venue reserved exclusively for the top 70 players in the season-long standings. While some might see this as risky, McIlroy's decision makes sense when you consider his goals. The Northern Irishman has already enjoyed an incredible season, claiming victories at the ATT Pebble Beach Pro-Am, the Players' Championship, and completing the career Grand Slam with a stunning triumph at the Masters. He enters the FedEx Cup playoffs ranked 2nd behind only Scottie Scheffler, giving him a solid foundation to build upon. But here's where it gets intriguing. Skipping the first leg of the playoffs doesn't mean McIlroy is taking things lightly. In fact, Beem argues that this calculated pause could give McIlroy a significant edge heading into the final stretch. It's not surprising, Beem explained during an episode of the Sky Sports Golf podcast. Memphis is brutally hot. Temperatures often soar into the 90s, and the conditions are draining. You're guzzling water like crazy just to stay hydrated. The oppressive heat isn't the only challenge players face in Memphis. The physical toll of 4 grueling rounds under such intense weather can leave even the fittest athletes feeling depleted. Then comes the BMW Championship at Caves Valley, followed by the Tour Championship in Atlanta, both venues known for their demanding layouts and sweltering climates. For McIlroy, preserving his energy could be the key to maintaining peak performance during these high-stakes events. Beem elaborated further. If you want to be front and center in the FedEx Cup race and aim for that 4th title, you need every ounce of your strength. Those last 3 weeks can really take it out of you from a weather perspective. By opting out of the FedEx St. Jude Championship, McIlroy is essentially banking on the idea that conserving his energy now will pay dividends later. And given his current standing in the rankings, it's hard to argue against the logic. Here's something else most people overlook. While the FedEx St. Jude Championship offers 2,000 points to the winner, quadruple what regular season events provide, McIlroy's position in the standings gives him some breathing room. As Beem pointed out, McIlroy is nearly 1,000 points ahead of competitors like Sepp Straka and Russell Henley. Even if he skips this event entirely, he's unlikely to drop more than 2 spots before the BMW Championship begins. That cushion allows him to focus on bigger prizes down the line. This strategy also sets up a fascinating showdown between McIlroy and Scheffler, who remains firmly entrenched at the top of the leaderboard. Only the top 50 players after this week's event will advance to the BMW Championship, with the top 30 then moving on to the Tour Championship. With starting strokes no longer part of the equation for the season finale, the competition promises to be fierce. According to Beam, this new format levels the playing field perfectly. The guy who plays the best over 72 holes should win the event. So, is McIlroy making the right call? Or does skipping the opener risk losing valuable momentum? These questions are sure to ignite debates among fans and analysts alike. One thing is certain, McIlroy's decision underscores the delicate balance between preparation and preservation in elite sports. What do you think? Is resting the smarter play, or should he have suited up in Memphis? Share your thoughts in the comments below.